Hello, I'm Dale. Welcome to the JeepSolid Garage. I'm here with my daughter, Amanda.
Hello.
She's the newest driver in our family. She's been driving the JK a lot, and it's due for
An oil change.
oil change. And this is such a super valuable thing you can do with your kids, younger generation. Teach them proper vehicle maintenance, and one of the best things you can do is start with an oil change. It is just a good little project you can do together, fairly simple. Teach them about automotive maintenance. It'll go a long way in their lives. So let's check it out.
There we go.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
All right, where's the oil pan?
I do not know.
Kind of look out underneath here. Do you see something that has like a nice little drain plug on it? Yep, that's the oil pan. Now you also have a transmission oil pan, transmission fluid, which is right here. That's your transmission where the gears shift.
Okay.
So that is your oil pan. So that's a 5/8 bolt there. You've got the wrench. Go ahead and we're gonna loosen that, and then we'll get a pan underneath it to drain all the fluid in. So on your wrench, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. I think it's on righty-tighty right now. So check your wrench first before you put it on there, that it's going the right direction. All right, we paused to grab a few things. We got the drain pan here now. We got some gloves, and we're doing this proper, so she's got some eye protection on there. Okay, you got your wrench, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey.
Yep.
It's set to lefty-loosey. All right, so go ahead and loosen that up. Just crack it loose. Get it on there nice and square. Okay, see how it's on there nice and square? And yeah, hold the end of the wrench like that with your hand, and the other hand pull on it. Which way are you pushing? Because you should be pushing up. Yeah, so it's on tighten.
Okay.
So just like you're doing a jar of peanut butter. So take it off of there. And now imagine that lid, that's like a lid, like a jar of peanut butter. So this is going to be tightened, that's going to be loosened. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have to flip the little lever on the back there. See the little lever? The little tiny...
Oh, there we go.
Flip that all the way over. Mm-hmm. Okay, now put it back on there.
There we go.
There you go. Now click it down my way. Down towards me. There you go. Hold the base on there nice and tight. Okay, now with your other hand, can you pull towards you? Might have to have a little dad strength help here. All right, cracked loose. Now, can you loosen it with your fingers now, or is it?
Yeah.
Yep, okay. So it's going to start spewing oil out. So as soon as you get it loose, it's going to start dribbling. I'll actually like kind of push back on it a little bit until you get it totally loose, then just pop it off like that.
Okay.
So you might get a little oil on your hands, but you got gloves on. The oil's warm. It's not hot, so it's not going to burn you, but it is a little warm. And try not to drop that oil plug into the pan. And see how I have the pan down farther this way, because it's going to kind of shoot out a little bit. There you go. Now pop it out. Perfect.
There we go.
I'm going to let that drain, and we'll go get started up top. So the nice thing about like current vehicles, like the oil light came on to tell you to change the oil, right? So you knew it was time. Like the olden days, we used to change it every like 3,000 miles, but newer oils last longer, so you can go longer than 3,000 miles. But newer vehicles now, they like tell you when it needs to be changed. It has like a whole calculation that it does with how much you're driving, how hard the driving is, if it's hot out, if it's cold out, just all those variables it takes into account. Now, oil, so you got your pistons in there that move up and down, so gas shoots in and explode, like just a little tiny of fuel, right, on top of the piston, and then it explodes with the spark plug, it lights it, and it shoots that piston down, and that pushing down of the piston then turns the crankshaft, right?
Okay.
Now the oil isn't involved in any of that combustion, right, and the piston moving, but you have all these moving parts down with your crankshaft that pushes power to your wheels, and a camshaft turning, and lifters that open and close valves on your engine. There's a lot of moving parts that it's like metal on metal rubbing. And that needs lubrication so that it doesn't wear out your engine or wear out those parts. And that's what the oil does. So the oil's like around all these parts of your engine, and then the gas and air and fuel is in where the piston is, where it causes that explosion. So the oil's like on the outside, lubricating all these moving parts. Now, oil wears out with like heat, it gets dirty, it breaks down. That's why you have to change oil and it wears out. So let's pop this cover off real quick so we can get to the oil fill hole and the filter. So go ahead and come around here and just lift this up. It should just lift straight up. Pop it off there. There you go. And then the back end there, just pull it forward. Can you reach it? There you go. Here's the oil fill hole. Do you see it over there?
Yep.
What does it say on it?
SAE 5W30.
SAE 5W30. So that tells you the type of oil to put in here. You need 5W30 weight oil.
Okay.
Because there's different kinds of oil. Now, the owner's manual inside of the Jeep, the book, it'll tell you what type of oil to use as well. If it needs synthetic, full synthetic, just conventional oil. So it'll tell you the type of oil. I already bought the oil. I know what kind of oil this needs. But that's how you can find out. The book in there will tell you. And then the cap here, a lot of times will tell you the weight of the oil that you need as well. All right, next up is the oil filter, which is right here. You want to come around the front. It's kind of a hard engine for you to see because you're so far back because of the super nice winch and bumper on there. But we're going to take this off. Let's find out what size socket fits on there. Let's try, I don't know, a 23. We tried the 23, did not work. What size is that, Amanda?
24.
24, fits perfect. So I think it's on righty-tighty right now, so flip it over. There you go. And once you get it where it's loose, okay, so that's loose. Don't lift it up yet. Go ahead and take the wrench off. There you go. And then we're going to get a rag down there because when we lift that up, it's going to dribble a little bit. Okay, so I usually take that rag and like tuck it like right here. And then you're going to lift this up. There's going to be a filter attached to it. And then just like catch the bottom of the filter with your rag there. There you go. Okay, we got a new filter here. I like using the Wix filters. Now, if you go to the auto store or whatever, they can tell you what filter you need. They can look it up, or you can order on Amazon. I'll put a link for this Wix filter in the Amazon in the description below. Order yourself one, get all your supplies. First things, there's a little O-ring right there. So take your screwdriver, get that little O-ring off. Actually, pull this filter off first. That just pulls straight down. So just grab the top, grab the bottom, and rip it apart. There you go. And you can just set that down. Now take that little O-ring off. There you go. Start at the top of it. There you go. Pry that way. There you go. Get that all the way off. Here's another towel and just kind of wipe that off a little bit. Make sure it's clean. Then inside of your new filter, there's going to be a new O-ring. So put the new O-ring back into that same groove that one came out of. Okay, now we don't want the O-ring to be dry. So get just a little bit of oil on your finger here and wipe it around that O-ring to kind of just lube it up a little bit. I usually use new oil, but lately I've gotten lazy and I just grab a little bit of that oil and there you go. Because you don't want it dry because you don't want it to like fuse to the engine. Mm-hmm. Next time you do your oil, you want to be able to get that off. So these little prongs on your new one go into the cap there and just push it on good and firm there. There you go. So yeah, that just slips down over the top there, over the top of there. Push this out of the way. There you go. And make sure you get the threads on this lined up straight. So if it feels like it's going on good, you're good. But if it feels like you can just kind of feel if it's crooked or not. So kind of start. Yeah, that looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Do you know what the filter does? Can you take a guess?
Filters oil.
Yeah, exactly. So as the engine's pumping oil, it's constantly pumping it through that filter, just kind of cleaning the oil, catching any bits of debris so it doesn't send those bits of debris and dirt and stuff through the engine, all those parts it's lubricating. If you've got it good and finger tight, go ahead and grab your wrench here and now set it to righty-tighty and tighten it down. Now don't overdo it. There are torque specifications they call of like how tight you're supposed to do that. I've done it enough. I know you just get it nice and snug, kind of that magic point. You can look up torque specifications if you want. So just snug. Don't overdo that because you can crack it. So are we ready to put oil in it?
Nope.
How come?
We need to put the plug in.
That was a test. Good job. Yep. It's been draining this whole time. Don't forget your plug. All right, grab your plug and don't drop it in the pan. Just slip it back in there and get it finger tight. And if you do drop it in the pan, don't get upset. We've all done it. There you go. Kind of take your rag and dry that off a little bit. I'll get the pan out of the way. And then we're going to use your wrench and snug that up too. And again, on the oil pan, you don't want to overdo it. All right, we got the plug on and snug, and I like to clean it up nice and dry. And the reason I do that is we're going to be watching for leaks. So if you leave it all gooey and oily, it's nearly impossible to tell if it's leaking. So keep things clean. Alrighty, where your oil fill hole is, go ahead and take that cap off. Might be a little snug. Oh, it's not good. Put your funnel in. And we're going to start filling it up. And go ahead and start filling it up. I generally like pour it sideways. Yeah, like almost towards me. So can you get the base of it like over here? Because then you can kind of see better. So kind of like this. Because then you can see what you're doing. Because if you're pouring it like this, you can't really see where you're pouring. So kind of go like this, because then you can really see well. And I don't like doing it like this because it comes out like too quick sometimes. So sometimes if you keep that up a little bit, you can just kind of have better control. There you go. Now that has about 4 quarts in it, I think, that jug. So you can pour that whole thing in, but do it slowly. You don't want to do it too fast because then it can kind of start overflowing. So just a good steady stream like that. No, just put a little bit of that new one in, like 1 quart of it. Let's see how that one's a lot fuller. That's where the pouring from the side works a lot better. So just, yeah, about 1 quart of that, a little bit. I'll tell you when to stop. So you want to make sure you don't get too much in because then you got to drain some out. So we're just going to get it up to where we know is a safe level. The book inside of the car will also tell you about how much oil it's going to need, okay? Okay, now that we think it's pretty close, we're going to come over here to the dipstick. So the oil dipstick is right here. We're going to pull it out and just make sure that the oil is at least reaching the dipstick. So go ahead and pull it out, and you're going to wipe it off nice and clean with that, because right now it has old oil on it. So you don't know what level the true engine oil is at, right? Mm-hmm. So you're going to clean the end there really good because you don't want any residual oil on there. Then we're going to put it back in, pull it out, and see how much oil is on it. All the way in. So sometimes you got to kind of grab it down there. There you go. Now pull it out. And then now we're going to look at the end. Sometimes you got to reach down farther and grab it, okay? Okay. So it's kind of halfway up on in the hash mark, right? Mm-hmm. So that is like where we want it. I usually fill it up a little bit more. But first, we need to start the car, and that filter we put in was completely dry. So there's no oil like in that filter anymore. And we need to cycle through a little bit of oil through the engine. That's why when you go to like an oil stop or an oil change place, which charges way too much for what we're doing, we're saving a ton of money. We can like go out to dinner or something with the money we're saving. It needs to cycle that oil through that filter to kind of fill it up a little bit. So go ahead and put that back in all the way. And then we're going to start the Jeep up and just let it run for a few seconds to cycle that oil and fill up that filter. And then we'll add a little bit more and check it again. Before we start it, let's get things out of the way. You're going to start the engine, so there's a lot of moving parts. Let's get the rag out of the way. And go ahead and take the filter out and just set it on top of the rag. We'll get that out of the way too. Opening up the shop door because we don't want fumes in here, right?
Yep.
Now that you've run it for a few seconds, we're going to check the oil again to see how low it is. And my guess is it's probably not even on the dipstick anymore, or it's going to show it's like a quart low. There you go. Is it on there anymore? Well, actually, we need to wipe it off again and then test it. I'll flip it over. Yeah, see? It's completely dry.
Yep.
So just starting it up and cycling that oil just shows you that you can't just trust your first test. You have to start it and run through that filter. So let's add another quart. So I said add a quart, right? So on your bottle here, see how right there is 4, 3. So if you go from 4 to 3, that's 1 quart. This is a 5 quart bottle. All right, that's good. So let's stop there and we'll just double check the level again with the dipstick. Now because the oil's already cycled through the filter and everything, we don't need to start it again or anything. How's it look?
Looks good.
About halfway. So let's add like just another, I don't know, 1/3 of a quart, not quite half. So I like it to be towards the full mark. All right, added a little bit more, just double checking again, and we should be good. Looks perfect.
Yep.
Yep. All right, go ahead and put that back. And then we'll get the filter out or the funnel out of the way. Kind of go ahead and take your rag on the bottom of the funnel there, pull the funnel out, just so you don't drip oil all over. Get your rag over there. There you go. Lift that up. Set that off to the side, put your cap back on. And when you're doing your oil change, this is another good time to just like check out your engine, look at other things, like fill your washer fluid. We're gonna double check like our engine coolant, just make sure that that's not low. And then just a general like look over of your engine that nothing looks wrong, broken hoses, melted things, broken wires, whatever. So that's a good thing about doing your own maintenance is you can kind of get a good visual on your own car. Let's get the oil drain pan out. Now where we live, I can put this used oil into the old container and then set it out with my recycle, and the garbage company will pick it up for free. So that's pretty awesome. Then I kind of go over in my head, okay, what things have I undone? Just to make sure we got everything put back. Drain plug on the bottom, and I usually peek underneath just to make sure there's not a big puddle under the Jeep, right?
Yeah.
What else did we undo? We undid the filter. We got it put back, and the fill plug, and the dipstick. That was all we did.
Yep.
We got the cover to put back on, but before we do that, let's add some washer fluid, and oh, we also need to reset the oil light. So somehow the Jeep knew, right? It was time to change the oil. We got to reset the light, so let's do that real quick. So put the key in, but don't start it. And then click it forward once, one more. Okay, now the gas pedal. Push the gas pedal all the way to the floor. Let it up. All the way to the floor. Let it up. All the way to the floor. Let it up. Okay, now turn the car back off. All the way off. Pull the key out. There you go. Okay, now go ahead and start it. Everything's out of the way from the engine. And your oil light should be off now. No more oil light?
No more.
Woohoo! Amanda asked how pressing the gas pedal resets it. So pressing the gas pedal all the way to the floor and off, doing that 3 times, I think it's within 10 seconds, just tells the Jeep to reset the oil light. So it's just how it's programmed. The engine cover back, look on the back side here. See there's these 2 spots. Those 2 spots line up with these 2 right there. So just push it in there. And then these little balls there are gonna snap into the top. It's your first oil change. Good job, how was that?
Pretty easy.
Not bad?
Yeah.
So you take it to a shop or somewhere, it'll be $100 to do that, where I can do it for $40, so save 50 bucks.
Yeah.
It's nice. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Amanda, for helping, and
Of course.
get you involved on some future projects. Thank you guys, have a good day.
Bye.